I don't remember my parents, only the cold gray walls of the city orphanage. Unlike the other kids who dreamed of ice cream and new toys, I dreamed of one thing, justice. I wasn't a bad kid, just resourceful. I was the master strategist of the orphanage, the one who always found a way around the rules. Once, I even rigged the fire alarm to go off every time the director mentioned rules, just to prove a point. I was adopted and returned 3 times. They called me unadoptable. One family cited excessive pragmatism. The other, a disturbing lack of whimsy. My last failed adoption attempt, at age 15, was when I found the box. Hidden in the orphanage attic, it was a dusty cardboard container labeled unclaimed goods. Inside, I found a small silver locket engraved with the initials LD and a faded photo of a couple, and a birth certificate with my name, Maya Sharma, and the parents' names, Leela and Daniel Kapoor. They weren't criminal masterminds. They were just people. People who had an address listed on that old document, a suburb 200 miles away. That night, I climbed out a window and started walking. It took me 3 days to reach the address. It wasn't a trailer park or a mansion. It was a comfortable, slightly too perfect suburban home with rose bushes and a gleaming silver sedan in the driveway. As I watched from the cover of a large oak tree, the front door opened. A woman, whom I recognized from the locket photo, stepped out. Leela. She looked softer, happier, and not at all like someone who had abandoned a child. Beside her was a man, Daniel, and then a girl around 12, with bright eyes and an annoyingly cheerful disposition. She was wearing a t-shirt that said, "Life is better with glitter." Her name, as I soon found out, was Tara, my sister. They had replaced me. They had traded a difficult daughter for a glitter-loving princess. The bitterness that had simmered for years boiled over. I didn't want a reunion. I wanted their perfect, sun-drenched facade to shatter. My plan began with infiltration. I staked out Tara's middle school. She was easy to spot, head in a book, perpetually alone, and a magnet for the school bullies. When a trio of older kids cornered her, demanding her lunch money, I stepped in. "Leave her alone," I said, my voice low and steady. I wasn't scared. I was an expert at intimidation. The lead bully, a boy named Finn, sneered. "Who are you, her edgy bodyguard?" "I'm the one who knows where the security camera blind spots are, and trust me, you don't want to mess with my little sister." I wasn't just lying. I was selling a story, a very convincing story. Finn hesitated, then backed off. Tara looked at me, her eyes wide with admiration. "Thank you. You're amazing. I'm Tara." "I'm Kian. I just moved here," I lied smoothly, "and you owe me a pizza." That night, Tara convinced her parents to let her new friend Kian stay for dinner. It was a painful, saccharine affair. The walls were covered with Tara's trophies for everything from spelling bees to most enthusiastic camper. They offered me their home, no questions asked, believing my hastily constructed story about nomadic parents who were researching ancient artifacts in remote locations. Step 1, complete. I was inside. My subtle sabotage started immediately, replacing the sugar with salt in the coffee machine, hiding Daniel's keys before important meetings. But their optimism was sickeningly resilient. "Honey, this coffee is a bold choice, very unexpected. Daniel would say. Lost my keys again? The universe is telling me to slow down and appreciate the walk, Leela would reply. They were untouchable. I realized my true weapon was Tara. I began subtly corrupting her. She idolized my confidence. I encouraged her to question authority, to skip the library, and to generally shed her compliant exterior. Tara started wearing my borrowed black hoodie, ditching her unicorn backpack, and rolling her eyes at her parents' cheesy affections. You don't have to be perfect, Tara, I whispered one night. It's exhausting. It's okay to be messy. The big test came when Tara, inspired by my example, was caught spray painting a small, rather tasteful dragon on the back of the school's vending machine. She was suspended. Leela and Daniel were devastated. Tara, why? Leela pleaded, tears in her eyes. You were never like this. Maybe I'm tired of being your perfect little doll, Tara screamed back, the words I had planted blooming perfectly. I hate you both. As I watched their heartbreak, a strange, cold wave washed over me. I had achieved my goal, but the victory felt hollow. I went to my room, opening the locket. Why had they left me? Suddenly, I heard them talking. We lost her once, Daniel. We cannot lose Tara, too, Leela sobbed. We won't. I'll get another job. We'll fix this. But we were so young, Leela. We had nothing. Remember Maya? Daniel's voice was broken. I froze. We had just enough money for a week's heating and food, Leela continued. Our families disowned us. When Maya got that terrible fever, we couldn't afford the doctor. We thought the orphanage would be safer just for a little while. We were coming back. We went back months later, but they said she was adopted. We didn't want to ruin her new life. I stumbled into the living room, the locket clutched in my hand. You lied. You never came back for me. Leela and Daniel stared at me, their faces draining of color. Daniel looked at the locket, then at my face. Maya? Oh my God, it's you, my little girl. Do I look like I had a great new life? I snapped, a sudden fury replacing the earlier coldness. I spent 17 years on the wrong side of a locked door because of your safe decision. And then I lied my way into your home to ruin you. Tara appeared on the staircase. No, you didn't, Maya. I stared at her. You know my name. I found the birth certificate when I was 10, Tara admitted. I saw your picture in the locket. I knew who you were that first day. And after I read your old file at the school office, I didn't try to stop your revenge because I knew you had every right to be angry. They never even told me I had a sister. Tara stepped closer. You're angry, but they're not the enemy anymore. I was miserable trying to be perfect for them. But now, thanks to you, I'm just me. A little messy, a little rebellious, but real. I don't want a vengeful sister. I just want my sister. Come home, Maya. We can all figure out what a family is supposed to be. Her sincerity hit me harder than any of my planned punishments. My mask of calculated rage cracked. I realized I hadn't destroyed their family. I had only found mine. I put the locket away. It was time to stop seeking justice and start seeking connection. We stood there, a strange, broken group. The repentant parents, the rebellious sister, and the vengeful orphan. For the first time, I felt something warm, real, and completely terrifying. Hope.